How's everybody doing? We're back, episode 2. I got Willis, myself, Gary from Pure Funding, and the one and only Ginger Goose from Goosehead Agency here in Weatherford, Molley Michel. We're super excited to have her. As promised, we are bringing in some guests to kind of shed some light to the whole home buying process, home ownership process, and she is a huge piece to our business and to our clients and getting their homes insured. So welcome to the Pure Funding podcast, I guess we call it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Say hello to the world.
I'm so happy to be here. I'm your first guest.
Yes.
So
First guest.
Yes, first guest. So awesome.
Well, I wanted to give y'all something.
Oh,
Because I give M&Ms because my name's Molley Michel.
Right.
And
M&M.
so these are actually Valentine ones. So I want you
It's
to
getting
enjoy.
close.
It is.
And I know who likes the sweets better. Which one?
Oh, this guy.
they're all
He's got
mine.
to share.
He's
though.
got to share.
We'll share.
We'll share.
And Deneen, the office manager, she's also going to partake in this at some point.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I know we're not here necessarily to talk about M&Ms as much as we love them, but we want to talk about insurance, so we're excited. So
Okay. So insurance questions.
Yeah. So some of the things that we're seeing is maybe 2 years ago, if I was just estimating a policy, I could put in $100 a month, and that would be maybe even overshooting a little bit.
Like a brand new home in a neighborhood,
Yep.
about $1,200 a year was pretty spot on.
Yeah. And
things have changed.
things have changed. So what has changed? What would be a good, just random, not random, but a good amount to put in if you're kind of guesstimating or trying to create a budget without necessarily knowing a home just yet?
Well, a brand new home in a neighborhood, approximately 2,500 square feet. Those are kind of easy to gauge. But then you just can't compare,
Right.
like even your next door neighbor. You could have identical houses next to each other in the same neighborhood,
Yeah.
but you have different people,
Yeah.
different insurance background, insurance
okay.
score. So you can't really compare. But things that have driven the rates of insurance in the last 2 years is when we had Snowmageddon or Ice-mageddon.
We had it last night for like 20 minutes at
Yeah.
the house. It snowed.
You got big
flakes.
old water flakes just coming down.
Yeah. So February of 2021, that's when things changed.
Okay.
I was just dreading. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen next year? So 2022 came around and my own policy renews in January. So I got that renewal in December for January.
Yep.
And, like, okay, here we go. This is a reflection of what has happened when we had the ice storm. And, and I'm a client too, so I shop it and, that's what I do with my clients. We shop to get the best rates. So anyway, that ice storm did change some things. That cost really caused the rates, not just with the carriers I write with, all carriers across the state of Texas have all gone up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
What are some of the things that, I guess, maybe not when they're buying their first house, like not buying a house, but if like you're a homeowner today, what are some of the things that are going to help kind of keep those costs down after you've owned your house for a couple of years? Like any suggestions you could give around that, like how to try to help keep your costs down?
packaging with your auto.
Right on.
Maintaining your home. Roof year roof year can make or break your premium.
Right.
I even ran it for my own house, and I thought, well, what would it be if I just got a new roof? And even though I don't need a new roof,
Right.
but it's old enough, and I was just curious what would it do to the premium. It took off $1,000.
Wow.
And so I was like, but then I've got to pay for my deductible to get a new roof. So it's kind of that catch-22. So when we really need one, I have a little idea of what it's going to do to my premium.
Yeah.
Nice.
Is there like a age of roof that is kind of that break even, like not break even, but where you're going to see bad numbers? Is it like 10 years, 12 years,
Yes.
15, that kind of thing?
So the majority of the carriers we work with, they are 15 to 20. There's a few that have their own little quirky, ages for Tarrant County versus Parker County, but majority are 15 to 20 years old.
Yeah.
Some that don't fit in that category might be a metal roof or a slate or a tile roof.
Okay.
There's a little bit leniency on those, but composition shingle or architectural shingle roofs, those are the ones that you can pretty much guarantee that after 15 years, some carriers will not insure you. Or if they do, they're going to only insure it for actual cash value instead of replacement cost. And you want it insured for replacement cost.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Awesome. That's cool. That's definitely I just put a roof on my place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last week.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And,
absolutely.
Need to get that new roof discount.
I'll call my agent.
Now that it's all closed
Now
up.
that it's done. Yeah, it looks great. It was
Yes.
a seamless process. So,
Awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. So.
Yeah. What is things that you see that makes people say, "Oh, I want to go with this rate because it's cheaper," but it's really kind of really setting themselves up for potential.
So like their
deductibles. That would be the big one.
Yeah.
Like how are people not necessarily beating you, but making their product seem better, but it's not really doing us it's not necessarily giving the best coverage.
Well, when people are shopping, and my job is to educate.
Right.
So I am going to take that time. I'm going to ask probably more questions than most, and I'm going to tell them, hey, this is what you're getting. Go line by line, and here's your deductibles.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll say, hey, can you send me that other person's quote? Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't.
Right.
And I've gotten people, they send it to me and they're like getting a 3% wind and hail, no water coverages. And I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah.
So Molly, you had mentioned, I'm kind of shifting gears here, kind of off of the kind of the specifics around the roofs and the policies themselves. But when you're talking about pricing, because we are also a broker, meaning we can go and we can identify your needs and then find the best lender that we feel fits your needs, get you the best rate, the best price. So talk to everybody about what that looks like. You mentioned it a little, you kind of briefly talked about it, but I think that's really important to understand why a broker model on the insurance side and the mortgage side is super important.
Yeah, so I'll give you an example. Just yesterday I had a gentleman, and I go through and I ask, what kind of dog do you have? Like, what kind of breed is it? And people go, why do you have to know that? And I'm like, well, we do have inspections. It might be just more of a drive-by, but if they see a prohibited animal on the property, then they're going to say, hey, we're canceling you. Well, I don't want that. I don't want that to come back on me or my client. So the gentleman said, yes, I have a Staffordshire Terrier. Okay, great. I'm going to find you a carrier that will accept that breed. And I did, and we got it written, and he's a first-time home buyer, but it's just doing those things. Or maybe you live on 20 acres. Well, a certain carrier might only take 10 acres. So I'm gonna ask a lot of questions because I have so many carriers I work with. I just don't want to put you with the wrong one and set you up, or set us up for failure.
Absolutely. We run into the same thing. Acreage is a huge one, right? So a lot of lenders 10 usually. Sometimes 15, but about 10 is kind of the same number, I think, on our side. And then we've got to go to different lenders for different products and that sort of thing. So I think it's just it's important to have that flexibility to shop and to keep that cost and continue to put the best product in front of the clients, whether it's insurance, mortgage, whatever the case may be. So awesome.
Molly, we want to thank you for coming in. It's great having you. Thank you for telling us a lot more about insurance and all of that. How can people get in touch with you?
Simply just call me.
What's your number?
It's 817-597-0700. Super easy. If I don't answer, I will call you back. That's just, that's what I do.
Awesome. She's really easy to get with. Gary and I both have our insurance with her. For anyone that is interested in getting in contact, please get in contact. See if she can save you some money on your rate. Those policies are renewing all the time. It's around the anniversary of when you bought your home, and if you haven't been hit with the increase in your policy, then it is coming when that renewal period happens. So talk to her, get in there, and let her be able to give you a quote and see if she can save you some money. We'd love for you to come back next week, so don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share the video, get it out there to as many people as we can. We're going to keep coming up with new content all the time to help you with anything from your first-time home buyer to your seasoned veteran buying their 50th investment property. We have products for you. We want to teach you how to use those products to create generational wealth for you and your family, to have that home that you've always wanted, to stop the renter cycle so that you can start putting your money to creating wealth for you. Can't wait to see you next time. Don't forget, we always have my What You Talking About, Willis series, where we are going through just different tips and tricks for the mortgage industry, for owning a home, and for how you can purchase a home. So you can check that out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikToks, or TikTok, as the young kids see.
Adios.
Bye. Have a good one.